Let's talk about the net worth statement. Just like the cash flow statement or the statement of income and expenses, there are 4 things that you need to know about the net worth statement. And those are the purpose, the process, analysis, and concerns. So let's first talk about the purpose of the net worth statement. The purpose is to get a current picture of your client's financial situation. This is especially helpful if you're working with a new client, and it gives you a starting point to put all of their assets and liabilities on one page, and you can see exactly where they are. So this is a great starting point to get to know your client, a great place for your client to get to know themselves and figure out where to go from there. So that's the purpose of the financial statement. It summarizes what they own and what they owe, and then you can figure out their level of solvency, meaning if they owe more than they own, then technically they're insolvent, and you can start working together to figure out a plan to correct this situation. Hopefully, they are solvent, meaning they own more than they owe. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about is the process for creating this net worth statement. And so the first thing that we'll do is list and total all of their assets. And here's another place where your expertise is going to be important to help them identify different assets that maybe they don't ordinarily think about. So a lot of people will immediately think about what they've got in the bank, but also help them think about cash. Maybe they have some money in a home safe. So in addition to checking accounts and savings accounts, think about other monetary assets, like what they might have in CDs or money market accounts. Or one thing that people often forget is money that's owed to them. So if they lend money to a friend that they have a pretty good feeling that they'll get back, they can consider that loan as an asset. Another class of assets to think about is what we call lifestyle assets. And those are things that where the value will vary according to the person and the type of lifestyle that they want to have. But those are things like automobiles, boats, motorcycles, even their house and their furniture. So things that where a certain level isn't considered necessary, although they may need to have basic transportation, but they choose a level of transportation that's indicative of the lifestyle that they want to have. And then lastly, what investment assets do they have? So these are the stocks and bonds and other things that are, we can think about them as assets that they use to produce income. So help them list all their assets, whether they're monetary, lifestyle, or investment. And then the next step is to list all of their liabilities. And of course, we're going to list and total them. So liabilities, of course, are all of their debts. And you might want to break those into short-term and long-term. And we typically think about short-term as being anything that's going to be used or is due in 1 year or less. And then long-term is greater than a year. And so again, help them think about things like with long-term, or let's start with short-term actually. These could be credit cards and loans, personal loans. And short-term, that is short-term. And long-term could be student loans, mortgages, auto loans. You know, again, keep in mind that 1 year kind of threshold. So these are less than 1 year. These are greater than 1 year. Now, once we have our assets and our liabilities, then we're just going to use the simple formula and say that assets minus liabilities are equal to net worth. Now, if you are working with younger clients, it's not uncommon for them to have a negative net worth. So don't get discouraged or let your clients get discouraged by that. That's why we're producing this statement in the first place, in order to figure out where they are, to get that current picture of their financial situation and come up with a plan on how to improve it. Even if they have positive net worth that's, 5 or 6 figures, we can always improve our financial situation. But most importantly, we want to know what it is. And so once you determine their net worth, again, assets minus liabilities, then you would move on to analyzing that net worth and address any concerns. So let's pause here and we can talk about that analysis and addressing those concerns next.